AITA for getting mad at my wife whenever she talks descendingly about our son's work? I never used this platform, so sorry if I get anything wrong. Also, while my English is pretty good, it's not my first language. Edit. I have been informed that the word I mean was condescendingly, not descendingly. Thank you. So basically, my son is a professional aerial performer and is currently performing in this large and popular horror-themed circus where we live. I know I may be biased, but in my opinion, he's really good and it's just amazing to watch him perform. Maybe a little scary sometimes, and I sometimes worry about him with some of the tricks and acts he does. My wife, however, will just tell people he works in the circus, never mentioning that he's an aerial performer, that he actually works independently and is basically a contractor. I don't know if there are any proper terms, but this is the best way I can describe it. That he works with a very large and popular circus. Just that he works in the circus. Whenever we are out and she sees a clown, she will point at it and say, "Look, it's son's name." Quote. And it is very clear she looks down on him for what he does. She assumes he makes next to nothing and is poor. I know he doesn't make a crazy amount, but he makes enough to support himself well. This all came to a head when we were with some of her friends and one of them asked if our son could entertain her kids at a birthday party, promising to pay him generously since he must be struggling. My wife laughed and responded with, "I'll see if he's free." I butted in saying, he probably won't be able to since the birthday falls on a day when popular circus, which is where he works as a headline aerial act in, is fully booked because it's so close to the New Year. Almost everyone there was shocked since all this info was new to them. My wife looked pissed and left. She sat in the car and texted me that she wants to leave. I stayed for about 20 minutes answering questions and showing them some videos. The woman who asked apologized, saying she was given the impression by my wife that our son was a struggling and failing cheap circus performer and wanted to help him. When I finally left and got in the car, my wife yelled at me, saying that I made her look like an idiot and horrible mother in front of her friends. When we got home, she stormed out the car and locked herself in our bedroom crying loudly. She's been like this for almost an hour now and I'm starting to feel awful and like an awe. I could have just left it alone. So AITA? Well, maybe she shouldn't act like a horrible mom and general all-around asshat. NTA. Your wife is really out of order. Seems like she has a big problem with her son not conforming to her standards of success. But her shaming and belittling him to others is disgusting. Aerial performers are amazing. It's a shame she is not proud of his skills or success. NTA. If telling the truth makes her look like a horrible mother, then she is one. 100% NTA. Your wife is a total asshole here, as she is making your son look bad in front of everyone. For whatever reason, she kind of deserves this. I'm glad you stood up for your son. NTA. But your wife is. Even if your son was a struggling performer, putting him down to her friends is just not cool. And very nice of your friend who apologized. She was trying to do something nice, given the knowledge she had. Your son has an awesome profession that very few people in the world ever master. You have a right to be proud. Your wife is either embarrassed or jealous. Doesn't matter which. You did nothing wrong and do not apologize to her. NTA. She just knows her friends now see her for what she is and probably is worried they won't want to be friends with her since she talks about her son in such a degrading manner. She is crying for herself because she has been caught out as a bad mother. Which she is. Well done for eventually setting them straight. NTA. You are being a good father. I don't even know what she's doing, but if I were you, I'd be doing her more than pulling her aside. I would have a serious talk about boundaries with her. I would let her know that if she intends on sleeping in the same bed with you and continuing your relationship, not only she needs to call everyone and let them know about her lies. And do tell her you'll be doing it for her in any case, but the marriage will be over. But also tell her the next time she does it you will call her out. If you hear her speaking about your son to anyone, go off on her. Tell her in front of whomever she's talking to, I already told you to not berate my very successful son. He's not a clown. X and Y is his job, and I am fed up with you lying to everyone so you can belittle him. I am really tired of this manipulative behavior. Then you leave. Let her be forced to stay and explain herself to her friends. NTA. Based on what you've said, you're a great father. It seems like you're really proud of your son's art form and what he's accomplished with it. But please talk to your wife about this. Ask why she's so ashamed that your son is a circus performer. By the sound of it, he's a very skilled and accomplished man doing what he loves. I hope you can help your wife realize this. NTA. Your wife though? Hoo boy. Your wife made your son look awful. And by extension herself an idiot. It is time to have a come to Jesus moment. You need to sit your wife down and demand that she accept your son for who he is and be proud of him. If she does not, she will lose him and strain the relationship between the two of you. Personally, if my wife acted like that toward my son, I would leave her. Note: am divorcing my wife for a myriad of other reasons. So take this advice with a grain of salt. NTA. You're standing up for your son and clearly proud of what he's doing. I've done some aerial sports and fuck. The muscle control you must have and pain you must work through. This is nowhere near as easy or simple as pros make it look. Your son must be so talented and dedicated to his craft to have done so well. Please keep supporting him and not letting your wife diminish his accomplishments. Your wife made herself look bad by always talking down about your son. It blew up in her face when her very kind friend offered to hire him to help him out financially. This is a situation your wife created. NTA. But I think you should talk to your wife about this. Why is she ashamed of your son? Most likely she wanted him to be a lawyer, etc., something easily recognizable as successful. Or is there a chance she doesn't truly understand what your does and how he is supporting himself? NTA. I can't understand why she'd demean your son like that. But she did this to herself. It would have cost her nothing to tell the truth, even if she frowned on his career choices. Don't pander to the troll. You did the right thing. A good dad who supported his son. I wish him the best of luck in his career. Everyone has covered why you're NTA. And you are definitely NTA. Aerial circus performers are highly skilled, and getting into a popular circus is a great achievement. Since most non-native English speakers I have met don't mind correction. The word you want is condescendingly, not descendingly. Your English is great otherwise. If you hadn't said it wasn't your first language, I'd have thought you were a native English speaker who used the wrong word. NTA. She seems like an awful person. I bet she's the type to eventually start crying about why her child doesn't visit her in her old age. NTA. Your wife is being horrible and rude. Is she your son's mom or stepmom, just to clarify? NTA. Your wife was deliberately misleading her friends about what your son does for a living and you stood up for him. You didn't make her look like a bad mother. She did. Tell your wife. If she doesn't want to look like an idiot and horrible mother in front of her friends, stop being an idiot and horrible mother in front of her friends. NTA. But your wife is. NTA. She didn't need your help to make her look like a bad mother. She did that all by herself. I'm curious after the psychology behind this. I understand mothers that try to pretend their children are far better off than they really are. As in my son as a marketing consultant. Which basically means he's working in a call center and rattling of spam calls all day long. The idea being that, look, I'm a great mother that bore very gifted children and then raised them very well. All praise me. But I really can't think of any reason to do it the other way around. NTA. Good on you for standing up for and supporting your son. Your wife is being a bad mom. In this case. Not saying all the time. By acting how she does and speaking how she does about him. She looked like an idiot because she's being one.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.